Autumn came softly to Maycomb, draping the town in quiet gold. The days grew shorter, the evenings cooler. The fire in the Finch home burned longer now, and outside the air smelled faintly of smoke and fallen leaves. But for Scout and Jem, the world still carried one mystery: the Radley house. It stood there at the end of their street, the same as ever, gray, leaning, its windows dark and still, the yard wild and tangled. No one went near it after sunset. The mere whisper of its name sent chills down children's spines. Boo Radley, the ghost of Maycomb, the unseen figure who lived behind those walls, the man who never came out. Scout remembered the games they used to play, reenacting his supposed crimes, daring each other to touch the gate. But those days felt far away now. The trial, the hate, the heartbreak, all of it had changed them, even their idea of monsters. One evening, the first cold snap came. Frost settled on the grass, and Miss Maudie's house caught fire in the middle of the night. The flames leapt high into the sky, painting the street orange. Neighbors rushed to help, carrying out her furniture, buckets of water passing hand to hand. Scout stood shivering on the sidewalk, her blanket forgotten at home. Atticus told her to stay put while he joined the line of helpers. Smoke stung her eyes, but she couldn't look away. When the fire was finally out and dawn began to rise, the cold crept in. Atticus came to wrap her in a coat, but paused. There was something else, a blanket, draped around her shoulders. No one knew who had put it there. Atticus smiled quietly. "Looks like Boo Radley was out tonight." Scout froze. Boo Radley, the man she'd never seen, the man she'd feared for years, had come out of his house just long enough to protect her from the cold. She looked toward the Radley porch, dark and silent, and for the first time she didn't feel afraid. After that night, something shifted. The house at the end of the street no longer felt haunted. It felt lonely. Scout began to imagine the man inside not as a ghost, but as someone who watched the world from behind his window, kind but unseen. Winter passed. The children grew older. School, seasons, and silence filled the spaces between them. Every now and then, Scout would find small gifts in the hollow of the oak tree near the Radley yard. 2 carved soap figures, a broken watch, a silver penny. Someone was leaving them, quietly, patiently. Then one day, they found the hole sealed with cement. Jem stared at it for a long time. He didn't say a word, but Scout saw tears he tried to hide. Maybe Boo had been reaching out, and the world had closed the door. As the years turned, Maycomb changed little, but Scout's heart did. She stopped fearing the house at the corner. She began to understand that the real monsters were not always hidden in shadows. Sometimes they walked in daylight, smiled at you in courtrooms, waved from porches. And sometimes the quiet souls who never spoke were the ones who carried the most kindness. She still hadn't seen Boo, not yet, but she felt him, watching from the window, unseen but near, a silent guardian of children who had once feared his name. And somewhere in that lonely house, behind the curtains that never moved, a man stood in the dark and smiled, because for the first time the world outside had stopped fearing him and started to see him.